Hey, my name is Tommy Spender from Spender, and you're watching the AU Review. It's off my debut EP, actually, yeah. But 6 tracks is good enough to be a record these days.
It's just about.
Yeah,
And well, let's talk about it. Yeah, how far back do some of these songs go? What are the origins of the material?
some of them go back quite far, and it's taken a long time to kind of get them to a point where I was able to release them myself independently. And, written in various rooms and cities and into various hard drives and other recording devices, and finally came together. And so I'm quite excited to have finally put it out there and let go of it all. Yeah, I didn't do all the instruments, but no, I worked with a couple of great musicians. A fantastic bass player called Luke Hodgson, who plays with a number of great bands, and an incredible drummer called Michael Iverson, who lives in LA now and who also wrote bits and pieces. So I guess I was the one that sort of stuck it out, and when everyone went home, I stayed at the office and drank 3 cans of Red Bull and finished the songs, even though it took 3 years to finish the songs. Yeah. So I kind of saw it through and sort of learned how to do a lot of stuff myself with Pro Tools and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, got into production along the way.
Were you doing shows at the same time, or when you were writing this music, was it purely for recording and you kind of worked out how to do it live later?
Yeah, look, it was one of those reverse engineered. I should have, like a smart band would do, right from the road and right from the audience response, and works on stage. But this was just a kind of a digital laptop beast, like an imagination, one guy in a room with a laptop kind of thing. So obviously some of it doesn't work live, and it's impossible to do. I can't carry around orchestras and 4 guitars and all that kind of stuff. So I have had to employ some technology to do it live. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I've used Ableton in an interesting way to create some of the stuff, the layering, but I don't like relying too much on that stuff. I like it to still be raw and live, I guess. So yeah.
So between the album and what we see live, it becomes a little different.
It does, yeah, absolutely. I think as a performer, you often get caught up, especially when you've sort of obsessed over lots of details in the recording process. You get very overly concerned with making that part of your live performance, when really, when I enjoy a show as an audience member, it's because I'm just enjoying the sound of one person's voice and just watching the way someone plays a guitar and all those subtle details that you just forget about when you're just sitting looking at a laptop for hours trying to make something, perfect or whatever. So I've had to let go of a lot of stuff, which has been really actually a huge relief. Yeah.
What will this mean, perhaps, the experience of putting this EP together, what could it mean for the future of the way you make music? Would you make it the same way again?
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to move. My plan is to move in a speedier fashion and to not get as caught up with the details in the production. And I think a lot of the time I was sort of learning and teaching myself things along the way. So it took a lot longer. Now that I've kind of built some skills on how to do a few different things, I can move through ideas a lot quicker. Whereas some of the songs, I've demoed like 6 or 7 times and rewrote them over and over and over again. And along the way worked with different producers that came on board for a while and other collaborators and stuff. So eventually, by the end of it, it was sort of like throwing broken glass into the sea, and it comes back as these sort of little soft, opaque little pebbles, that you wear around your neck on a holiday.
You got a bit of touring happening at the moment with Clare Bowditch.
Yes.
Can you talk a bit about that?
The delightful Clare Bowditch, who's a good friend of mine and has been a supporter of mine from early stages. We actually went to high school together. She was a few years above me. At a little alternative school, wonderful alternative school in Melbourne called Pres Hill. And Claire did some mentoring with me because I was getting stuck, as you do, and said, "What are you doing with your record? Why isn't it finished? Why is it taking this long? Why?" And she kind of helped me in a funny way look at it all again with fresh eyes and ears and make a bit of a plan. And so she's been a big help, incredible. A mentor is one other way of looking at it. So when she offered me to come along on this tour. I was really excited to be able to support her back. So yeah, there's a festival called Yeppoon Festival, which I've never heard of, which I'm looking forward to, by the way. Yeppoon, if you're listening out there today.
Well, I mean, have you done a kind of a festival set before?
No. Well, the thing that's interesting, this tour, I'm doing it lonesome style, as I just did on the couch. So, I've changed the material I'm gonna be presenting. So, I do have a fantastic rhythm section, which I can't bring with me on this tour. So I've changed my my songs and my set, my sort of strategy a little bit on how to do that. So I'm sort of going for more. I'm a huge fan of the singer-songwriter storytelling tradition, the John Cash, Woody Guthrie style narrating stories. So I'm gonna sort of. I know Claire's audience are real listeners, so I'm gonna kind of work on that angle as opposed to kids that want to have fun and pick each other up and get drunk and stuff. So yeah. Well, I'm sure there'll be people doing that. Hopefully at the shows too.
never hurts.
No.
Let's end with a plug for the record. Where can we get it?
Okay, you can buy my EP, which is titled Modern Pest. If you're interested in knowing why I called it Modern Pest, it's because I entered my name into an anagram generator, which essentially just jumbles the letters around, and it created from my name, Tom Spender, Modern Pest. It also created Modest Perm, but I thought I'd go for Modern Pest. So you can get that at JB Hi-Fi in a physical sort of apparition. 6 tracks featuring friends and collaborators Gotye, Clare Brown, and you can also purchase it on iTunes as well, and you can stream it from Deezer.